student loan payments I couldn't afford. Whatever your situation, an NFCC agency can help you find real solutions to get your finances back on track. Take the first step to sharpen your financial focus and call your local NFCC agency at 855-3-SHARPEN. That's 855-374-2773. Or visit us online at sharpentoday.org.
A public service message from the National Foundation for Credit Counseling.
Home of Saints legends Bobby Hebert and Deuce McAllister. 870 AM, WWL New Orleans. 105.3 WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans. An Odyssey station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Lisa Mateo. Cleanup continues in Gaza after ceasefire and 11 days of violence between Israel and Hamas militants.
Bulldozers are clearing away the rubble on both sides of the Gaza border. Hundreds of apartments were destroyed in Gaza in Israeli airstrikes, and hundreds damaged in Israel by Palestinian rockets. The cycle of destruction and reconstruction has gone on through 4 Gaza wars with no end in sight. Robert Berger, CBS News, Jerusalem.
In Rome, at least 9 people are dead after a mountaintop cable car plunged to the ground. 2 children were also sent to the hospital. In much of the country, May is feeling like July or August.
Almost a month before official summer, and over a dozen heat records could fall today in the south and east. And then
the record temperatures move south for Monday and Tuesday. We could be seeing our first 100-degree reading of the year in Georgia. And then by the middle part of the week, we move those high temperature records right back up into the Northeast.
CBS's David Parkinson and his colleague Jeff Berardelli looks to the other side of the country.
70% of the West covered in drought, extraordinarily dry, the driest it has been in 127 years.
Tom Foti, CBS News.
At least 1 person is dead and a number of others injured after.
Police say about 100 people were scattering as authorities arrived. No word on whether there was 1 or more shooters. Police appeared to be conducting a search of the area. Multiple agencies are investigating the scene in that rural area across from a school, a church, and a cemetery.
KYW's John Ostakovich. George Floyd's sister Bridget speaks out ahead of the 1-year anniversary of his death.
We really thought that my brother's death would be the last police brutality case. But as we all can see, they are at it again and again and again.
An evacuation order is underway for the city of Goma in Congo after a volcano erupts for the first time in nearly 2 decades. BBC's Raya Kansara.
Molten lava bursts from the ground into a thick orange cloud that illuminates the eastern city of Goma. Posts on social media show locals running in desperation, whilst others stare at it with fascination. The last time Mount Nyiragongo erupted, its consequences were devastating. 250 people died and hundreds of thousands were left homeless after lava flowed into Goma.
In northwestern China, 21 people were killed when extremely cold weather struck during an ultra-marathon. This is CBS News.
Get CBS News Radio on the Odyssey app. All the audio that matters to you is on Odyssey. News, music, sports, and podcasts. Download the Odyssey app today.
These days, physical distance can keep us safe and healthy, but emotional distance can strain relationships, especially if drugs or alcohol are involved. If substance use or addiction is creating a barrier between you and your child, you may feel alone, and you may not know where to turn, but we're here to help you and your family. Partnership to End Addiction offers free resources, guidance, and support just a click away. To End Addiction, start with connection. To learn more, reach out to us at drugfree.org.
I know about courage I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
WWL First News. I'm Tom Perumian on your official weather station, WWL AM, FM, and .com.
The drier and warmer weather continues. Your Sunday high temperatures will get up to around 86 to 87. Some clouds popping up here and there, and there is about a 10% chance of maybe a shower, but it's going to be mainly to our west. Overall, looking like a nice warm day, though.
Your local weather expert, WWL-TV meteorologist Peyton Malone, will be along with your full weather forecast. Charges of a cover-up and more being levied at the Louisiana State Police by a source close to WWL-TV. Karen Swenson has more.
Widespread disgust and disappointment is how a state trooper familiar with the Ronald Greene investigation describes morale within the LSP. Not only regarding the Monroe troopers' use of force, but in his words, the cover-up. Newly released video shows Ronald Greene plead for his life after troopers caught up to him after a chase. The treatment of Mr. Greene was inexcusable and appalling, that according to our source. He says the troopers involved should have been criminally investigated from day one, but the troopers wrote it up as a traffic fatality. He said anyone who watched 2 minutes of body cam would have known that was a lie.
Jefferson Parish sheriffs still searching for a man wanted in the murder of a woman in Old Jefferson on Friday night. WWL-TV's Devin Bartolotta reports.
Well, a woman is dead in Jefferson Parish, and police need your help finding her killer. The woman was shot and killed around the 3400 block of Mole Cottage Street. The sheriff's office has asked for your help finding Larry Richardson. He's wanted on counts of second-degree murder and obstruction of justice. Deputies believe he killed the woman and then took off in a silver 2020 Toyota Camry. The license plate is 275DJG. Richardson is thought to be headed toward Houston. If you know anything, call Crime Stoppers.
Sports betting is moving closer to a reality in Louisiana. We get the story from WWL-TV's Paul Dudley.
Sports betting legislation is advancing at the state capitol in Baton Rouge. Soon residents could be able to gamble on sports by using apps and their cell phone or by visiting a casino or bar. Last week, the state Senate overwhelmingly approved the proposed law that would allow betting on sporting events in time for football season. Now members of the House are considering the bill. Back in November, then when the elections were held, voters in 55 of the state's 64 parishes approved sports betting. Lawmakers are currently working on a plan that determines how to tax and regulate the money.
Breeze Airways will begin offering cheap direct flights out of Louis Armstrong Airport in New Orleans to 10 mid-sized cities across the Midwest and South. Breeze will focus most of its flights from 4 main airports, including New Orleans, which will create 261 new direct jobs in the Crescent City. Breeze Airways CEO, David Nealman.
Everything goes up when you have additional air service into a city, and it really, helps it tremendously. Nobody can get enough visitors.
Breeze will launch its first flight July 8th, connecting New Orleans with Charleston, South Carolina. Now the forecast from your local weather expert, WWL-TV meteorologist Peyton Malone.
Your Sunday is going to be warm. We'll get up into around 86 to 87 with the dry weather sticking around. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds with a bit of a southeast breeze. As we head into your Monday, kind of the same story, 87 for your high with partly cloudy skies. Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to continue with this trend of a little bit warmer each day. 88 on Tuesday, 89 on Wednesday, and then finally could hit 90 by Thursday. We'll see mostly sunny skies each of those days as well, so no rain chances in the work week. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL-TV meteorologist Peyton Malone.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
From WWL, the news talk sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakwinard Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, good morning, Doug Sunseri. Albert Nicaud, lawyers, all things legal. 1870, legal questions, or your LSU baseball question. Good morning, Albert.
Hey, good morning, Doug. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. I guess you weren't watching LSU baseball yesterday, huh?
No, I was not. I was actually at the St. Catherine of Siena crawfish cook-off. We had a booth, and so we boiled crawfish yesterday. I don't know how many thousands of pounds it was, but it was a lot. not just us, but among all the participants. It was great to see everybody, masks. Everybody was hanging out in the schoolyard. There was two bands playing. It was back to normal.
No mask. No mask.
No masks. Didn't
No.
see a one.
Yeah, well, you see a lot of sporting events now, and I don't see any. Now, the sporting events I've been watching have been the SEC baseball. So we're sort of in the South, and we're not the West. The West Coast or the East Coast, but it seems like it's pretty normal. By and large, most people are okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You'll hear some skirmishes, and this is the thing I'm sort of wrapping my mind around. With the mask. There's a lot of different opinions on the mask, but maybe you can answer this for me. Why are the people who would prefer, and look, if you want to wear a mask, you wear a mask. If you don't, it's everybody's free. It's personal preference. But the question would be, if you are vaccinated, why would you insist on everyone else wearing a mask?
Don't know the answer to that.
I mean, if
it
anybody
makes no sense to me.
If anybody can tell me, because a lot of the debate has been in the context of public, supermarkets or at a ball game I think a week and a half ago I was on Christian's show, and we had a few callers who were vaccinated and were very upset about people who weren't wearing masks, and I was still sort of confused on trying to figure out, what the deal was, and what was their lack of what was the beef? Because I'm assuming if you're vaccinated, then you're immune. So
right.
If someone who could wanted to text in on our Facebook page, let us know, call in. It was sort of an interesting thing, but we were watching. Well, it looks like the Tigers are going to make it, not officially, into the NCAAs after a 1-8 start in the SEC, and just in last place. Now they're tied for 8th place, and they played Friday night. They played It was a phenomenal game. It was 13 innings. It was 12-6, but it doesn't sound like an extra inning game. But they went to the 13th inning. They scored 6 in the top of the 13th, and they won it. And so it looks like.
Who did they play?
They played Texas A&M, the Aggies, and the Aggies aren't having a great year, but the LSU's won 4 of the last 5 series in the SEC. They started out 1-8. Since then, I think they're 12-9, which is pretty good. And so I think they're going to probably sneak in. They play Georgia Tuesday at 3:30 in the initial round for the SEC tournament. Sort of an interesting tournament because the first 4 teams 9 through 12 play each other in single elimination, and then they have the top 8 teams. They play in a double elimination round, and then they go to the semifinals and they're back to single elimination. So I think what they're probably going to do is, it sounds like they're going to probably get in, and it sounds like that. They usually take 9 teams from the SEC, and in fact, I think in 2016, Auburn was a 9th seed in the SEC tournament that got into the College World Series. In fact, I will say this: I think it's harder to win the SEC tournament than it is the College World Series, or just as hard. So, especially since they only play so many games in such a short period of time from Tuesday to Sunday. So it looks like
you better be pretty deep.
Yes, it'll take. It'll take. It tax your pitching, and so it's a great preparation. So I was So it looks like they're in. And
so let me ask you: do they determine whether they're in before the SEC tournament or after?
No, this is just speculation by me. They'll do it the night of, the Sunday night.
They'll do it the night of what? After
the
the tournament.
After the tournament, that Sunday night.
Okay.
But I think they're in.
So they got to fare well. They got to play well during the tournament to get in.
Well, if they win one against Georgia, I think they lock it up. They're off the bubble and they're in. If they lose to Georgia, it leaves a little speculation. Depends on how they lose, but it leaves a little out there for speculation. And if the other thing that could happen is if you have a lot of other teams, a lot of other conferences where the favorite, who's going to the tournament anyway, doesn't win, and you maybe have a upset in a few tournaments, it could eat up some of the spots, like in the NCAA basketball tournament for some of the teams in the bubble. So, for example, in Tulane's conference, if East Carolina is going to go, but if another team besides East Carolina, wins the tournament, then that would open up two spots. That would eat up two spots in the NCAA.
Right.
So there's some contingencies, but they made a great comeback. The best part about LSU baseball is they start 3 freshmen, 3 sophomores, and 3 juniors in the infield. So they're very, very young. They played young, but they seem to be growing up toward the end of the year, and so that was good. And the freshmen they have two freshman superstars. Superstars. Will be super. Dylan Cruz and Trey Morgan, who's from LSU. From Brother Mark. And so once they're in a tournament, you start all over again. In the NCAA,
right.
You start. It's a new season, and they can beat anybody and they can lose to anybody. So there you go. How was that? And also, we talked a little bit about the Pelicans, but they had an interesting article about the NBA came out. They said since 2011, NBA has lost 45% of its audience. Which is an interesting statistic. It was indicated that their ratings this year is down about 20%, down from last year's ratings, which were down between 15 and 20%. So it's just sort of an interesting scenario with the NBA. And do you understand how the playoffs work with the play?
No, I kind of. I didn't quit watching it, but I'm not dying to tune it in. I'll probably wait. The Pelicans are out. I'll probably wait until maybe the championship series before I'll start watching. I've always thought, and they've been doing it for years, I always thought 7 games or best of 7 is too many for the earlier rounds. If you want to do that for the final games for the championship, that would be fine. But I think the best of 5 would probably be a better. Granted, it's a money thing, but it just extends the league all the way into June. So it goes from October to June, and it's just a long, long season.
Also, you got 10 playoff. When you have 10 playoff teams, basically you're diluting the importance of the regular season.
Well, we got teams with losing records that are in.
Yeah, and it shouldn't. And I hope the NFL. They're sort of heading in that direction. But one of the great things about the NFL is the regular season teams mean a lot. I think that's one of the great things about college football is that each game could be the difference between competing for the Final Four or not. So the games during the season have a lot of importance. Whereas in
see, I always thought in football, of college football, what they should do is get rid of the conference championship games and go to 8 teams in the playoffs, because it's not fair. If LSU and Alabama are the 2 best teams in the SEC, LSU and Georgia, let's say, or Alabama and Georgia, the 2 best teams in the SEC, that now they have to play each other. They may be the 2 best teams in the country, but now they have to play each other. One will get knocked off and likely fall out of the top 4 because of that loss. And so what they should do is do away with that game, because there are teams like Notre Dame and other teams that don't have a conference championship. And so they're sitting at number 3, and they don't move after that week after the season. So do away with the conference championships and then make it 8 teams that get in. And so, so your team like, Utah or somebody that might be on the bubble as an 8 seed, that's undefeated, it ran the table, let's see if they're good enough to compete with the Power 5. Anyway.
Well, I think the conference finals will be here to stay. They make, it's just a good revenue maker. And
well, it's definitely a revenue maker, sure, but it's not fair to the teams that are in it. It's just an extra brutal game you have to play, to make it into the Final Four, and I think it's not fair to those teams that have a conference championship.
Right. Well, that remains to be that they're here to stay. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And we'll see. We'll see with that. One thing I want to talk about after we get from the break is the in college football, name, image, and likeness, or college sports. That's basically in the legislature, all over the legislatures in the South, where college players will they be able to make money on their name, image, and likeness, and how is that going to work? So it's a lot of an interesting question. But let's take a break. Next, Sunseri, Albert, Nicaud, you can notice all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time.
Your new audio home for everything that matters to you is Odyssey.
Odyssey is sports for everyone.
News hits home.
Okay, sounds pretty good. Albert, maybe you can back them off just a shade.
Favorites
and discover new favorites.
All the audio.
And we have Justin holding.
All right.
Audacy. It's all here in a universe of audio.
Odyssey.
It took years, but you did it. You found true love, your soulmate. You didn't settle. You searched until you found your perfect match. At Open Heart Jewelers, we never settle either. We constantly search the world's diamond markets for those special diamonds to create that extra special engagement. We offer a vast selection of unique and popular engagement ring styles, many designed and created by our own award-winning master craftsmen. We're passionate about creating the highest quality ring at the best price you'll find anywhere. So, how do we do it? We buy direct from diamond cutters all around the world, getting the lowest possible prices before they are even available to others. You didn't settle when it came to love. Why settle for ordinary when you can give extraordinary for less at Oakland Heart? Shop smart. Nothing compares to true love, and nothing compares to Oakland Heart Jewelers on Metairie Road. Beautiful and more ways than one. Attention Social Security and SSI recipients. If you did not receive an economic impact payment for your eligible spouse or dependents, you may need to file a 2020 tax return with the IRS and claim the recovery rebate credit. Go to ssa.gov/EIP to see if you need to file a tax return and if eligible for other refundable tax credits, like the child tax credit. That's ssa.gov/EIP. Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
If you're building a new home or buying a new home from a builder, you need to be aware of Louisiana's New Home Warranty Act. It sets forth strict deadlines to make claims against the builder for defects in construction. If you don't provide the builder with proper notice, you can lose your right to make a claim. This is Albert Nicaud with the Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm in Metairie. Call me at 504-837-1304 as soon as you discover a defect. Better yet, call me before you sign your construction contract and let me make sure you're protected.
This is Bobby Hebert from my friends at Clearwater Pools and Spas, your staycation headquarters. Let us make your backyard a great family vacation spot for the summer. They're the trusted leader in water treatment and offer the largest selection in above-ground pools, spas, and hot tubs, including hot spring spas. They're the only factory authorized and trained in pristine blue and oxygen sanitizing systems. Visit cwnola.com or one of our locations in Covington, Metairie, Baton Rouge, and Pearl, Mississippi. Clearwater Pools and Spas.
Take 30 seconds to save thousands.
Go to lacontractor.org and take 30 seconds to make sure the person or company who wants to work on your home or business is licensed by the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors. How much is 30 seconds worth to you? That's lacontractor.org.
Miller Protection Group provides peace of mind for event planners and managers through effective professional security guards from access control to traffic and COVID compliance. For your special event, there's no better security guard service. NOLA Protection Group at nolaprotection.com.
The following is a true story. I had a lady that was in her mid-70s, and I'd sold her timeshare, and that was the lowest I'd ever felt in my life. I knew then that I had to do something to simply not to go to hell for selling timeshare.
Chuck McDowell founded Wesley Financial Group to help folks cancel their timeshares permanently.
Called her and everybody that I'd sold timeshare to, and I said, this is what I said to you that was a lie, and this is what you need to do to cancel your timeshare. From that point, people started referring friends to me to help them cancel the timeshare, and that's how it all started. I fought the world's largest timeshare company in federal court. If I had lost that lawsuit, there would be no one helping people that have been lied to when they bought timeshare. If we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or we'll give your money back. That's what makes us different.
Call Wesley Financial Group now for a free information kit. 800-921-5252. That's 800-921-5252. 800-921-5252.
All things legal on WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app. Connect with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on the Oakland Art Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Sunseri, all things legal. Albert, one of the great things about college and it was, it had a air of amateurism, like, LSU baseball. They used to pick up the equipment off the field after the game, roll on the tarp. And, it's progressed from there in the last 30 or 40 years. But now there's a provision, Ed O'Bannon, who's a basketball player, won a lawsuit saying that the NCAA should use my likeness. I should make money on that. And now they have laws that we name players in college can have their name, image, and likeness utilized or make profit off of that. So, Louisiana.
I'm perfectly in agreement with that.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a firm believer in, if you are of legal age, 18, and you can serve in our military, you can sign a contract, you can be prosecuted as an adult, you have all of these responsibilities, you should be able to drink a beer, right, legally, and B, make money on your likeness. How can that not be the case just because you're playing ball for a college and you're the star of the show, and now all of a sudden, the college is going to make the money on your jerseys or you name it. And I'm a firm believer. Now, if it's going to be hard because they're tracking. It's going to be hard to track the money and how the money is spent and delivered and paid and et cetera, because then you'll be able to pay other players, and say, oh, well, he made money on his jerseys or he made money on his whatever. And it's going to open up a new can of worms. But I think it's something that they need to do. I think it's something that these kids can go get a job at 18. They're not going to make that kind of money, but they can go work. They can go do whatever. And instead, they're playing ball. They can't work, right? I'm a kid who worked all through college and through law school to put myself through school. And so, I didn't have the opportunity to work and go play college ball. I mean, it was a one or the other situation, because otherwise I had no money, and so that's how many of these kids that are in college sports are now. They don't have a ton of money. They barely have the bus fare to get to campus, and so here they are 3-4 hours a day putting it on the line for the team, for the university. They should be compensated, and and they should all be compensated to some degree beyond just a scholarship.
But it's all thing. This is historically, from our perspective. I remember Coach Brown saying in telling us at dinner in 1987, 88, that one day the players would strike because of the fact that everybody else is making money off their labors, and they're getting a scholarship, which is big, but he thought they would strike. Now, fast forward about 10 years, we had done a deal with Jerry DiNardo, who's the LSU coach, Tom, and they had an argument because in connection with his participation in the transaction was who owned his image. And the university told him, you work for us, so it's our image. And Coach DiNardo took issue with that, said, no, you don't own my image. So what they did was compromise, and he ended up giving the money entitled to him to LSU Libraries because he just, at that time, he didn't want to rock the boat. But so you come from that to now with the players, trying to profit off the image. Now, in theory, it sounds good, and in theory, it's right. But this is going to be another foothold to get money to players in recruitment. And so, what they're going to have to do is figure out how do you regulate this.
Right. That's the bad. Yeah. The regulation is the deal.
Because, you can use this as a way to a loophole to exploit. In other words, saying, hey, if you sign with us, we can guarantee you X off your image. And, and then you're going to have also, too, you're going to have 18, 19-year-old kids, hiring agents and lawyers and to negotiate with this.
It's business.
Yeah.
It's America.
Yeah, it is. It's going to change the complexion.
Well, it will, but it's still, you can't.
Right. I'm not. You can't
sign a kid up to go fight for your country at 18, but you can't then tell him, oh, sorry, you can't make money on your image because you're a college student.
No,
or movie stars that are 18 making money on their images, or pop singers, or rap singers, or whatever the case may be. And these artists, are they making money on their images? Sure. And just because you're going to college, that you're playing football for college, you can't. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense.
No question. I'm not. No question about that. They have the right to do it. What I'm saying is, it's going to change a lot. College football is going to be unrecognizable as far as how it conducts business now. And what you see with the LSU's and the Clemsons and Alabamas, what they're going to figure out is how to exploit this in order to have a recruiting advantage. So you're going to have more of a disparity between the have and have-nots. Because if you're, a backup linebacker from Villanova, you're not going to have anybody wanting to use your likeness for anything. But if you're starting running back, start quarterback at Alabama, LSU, you can, you're going to have exploitation of your likeness.
Well, and I think it's going to be very much like the NBA and even the NFL, with a small market, large market too. So even a team like Alabama, you're looking at the Tuscaloosa, Alabama area, or the state of Alabama, that's going to be so interested in buying, a jersey from an Alabama player, or watching a commercial. I mean, unless the player's just some really superstar that has this media attraction. But I think the issue is going to be the UCLA star and the kid playing from some New York team that is going to have that big market population that can then I'll remember when Eli Manning was in New York. He was making, I want to say it was some stupid amount of money, like $25,000 a week, with some radio station, of course, that broadcast to 10 million people in that New York area. And it was a 15 or 30-minute segment on a Monday after a game, and he would go on this show, and they paid him like $25,000 for the 30 minutes, and a guy like even Drew, and he'd be interviewed because the market there for the radio station to pay that kind of money. So I think you're going to see more of that from a market standpoint than necessarily a particular university standpoint, whether they're a winning program or not.
Right. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. Like one of the recruiting pitches is going to be if you play running back at LSU, Alabama. Hey, the last running back who played for us made $60,000, $100,000 on his likeness, or $50,000 on his likeness, $25,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other thing that's going to happen is, you see, there's always unanticipated consequences to new laws. And that's what we do, as lawyers, when we go to the legislature and say, well, this sounds good, but this is how it's really going to work. And one of the things that's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of these players more focused on themselves to promote their image on social media, on, putting out products. And really, it's good for them, maybe not so good for the game. And it's going to be a real challenge for coaches now to manage that. And much like professional coaches, and they've adjusted. And what's happened from college football is, and you saw this with Bo Pelini, and you take it back from Bear Bryant on. When you had Bear Bryant, you didn't have team meetings, you didn't have team councils. This is Bear Bryant. He said the way it was, and that's the way it happened. And now
Right.
the coaches in college are more becoming facilitators, and whereas they have councils for the senior leadership councils, they have inputs, and they're more collaborative in their approach, which it's different. It's changed, and it'll be interesting to see how college football handles name, image, and likeness, and it's going to change the game. Probably not for the better, but it's probably better for the players, or for a few select players who will be able to profit off their interest.
Yes. Well, I think part and parcel of that is, and I think it should be the same for every university, even today, in terms of finances. And there should be a course, or even just a series of lectures that they give these kids and say, listen, this is $50,000, whatever the money is. Here's what you should do with that money. Here's a better way to spend that money, and try to help them preserve that even beyond once they get into the NBA. I mean, the NFL.
They do that in the NFL. They've done that in the NFL, and it's only had marginal success. Very marginal.
Yeah.
All right, I've got to go to break. I hear the music. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back at this brief time
The radio.com app is now the Odyssey app.
I could just pull it up anywhere that I'm at, and it's super convenient. I can listen to the radio anywhere.
All the info you need
I think it informs people.
is now on the Odyssey app.
I listen on the app, and I listen on my smart speaker.
Get it in your app store.
It makes it a lot easier for me to listen to the radio on the go.
It's up to date, quick, fast. Reset your app to Odyssey.com.
You gotta download the app. It's always up to date and it's free.
From WWL, the News Talk Sports leader.
Have you noticed the first four letters of the word paint is pain? P-A-I-N? Hey, it's Newell, and I don't know about you, but I don't like pain, and I don't like the pain of painting my home year after year. not to mention the cost. That's why I'm having my home coated with Rhino Shield. Rhino Shield is a revolutionary ceramic coating that comes with a 25-year warranty, and it's perfect for wood, brick, stucco, hardy board, and vinyl. So do what I did and call for a free estimate, 504-407-2222, 407-2222, or visit rhinoshieldmidsouth.com. Listen, here's the bottom line.
All right, you've only got one holding, and that's Justin.
Okay. Paint your home or business again, guaranteed. Rhino Shield is perfect for the Gulf Coast climate, resists mold and fading, and it's more affordable than you think. So call now for your free estimate, 504-407-2222, 407-2222, or visit rhinoshieldmidsouth.com.
You know what makes every diamond unique and special are its 4 C's: cut, clarity, color, and carat weight. But do you know what makes Diamonds Direct special and unique? It's our own 4 C's. The first C, concept. Diamonds Direct has revolutionized jewelry shopping by eliminating middleman markups and giving you direct access to the world's finest diamonds straight from the diamond cutters. The second C, choice. Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection of precious diamonds is unparalleled, and with over 4,000 designer settings to choose from, you are empowered to make a decision that works for your style and taste. The third C, confidence. With a nationwide price guarantee, free lifetime warranty, our unique 110% diamond upgrade policy, and our no-pressure, no-risk environment, you have total peace of mind. And the fourth C, community. Every year we partner with local charities and nonprofits with significant donations of time, money, and jewelry to make this a better place for everyone. Diamonds Direct, as unique, special, and rare as every diamond in our showcase. On Severn Avenue, across from Lakeside Mall.
No boat shows? No problem. Boat Stuff has over 100 boats on order. Come in today for boat show savings on Boat Stuff's full line of coastal boats, including Avid, Blue Wave, Vexus, Sea Fox, and Regulator. Boats and Yamaha motors are coming in weekly, all with boat show savings. Make no waves about it. Get your boat and Yamaha outboard from Boat Stuff in Slidell, Harvey, Port Sulphur, and Hammond, or at boatstuff.com. Ashley, are you unemployed?
Yep. I mean, my unemployment benefits don't expire until September.
Are you crazy? Everybody's going to be looking for work in September. You should be doing this like right now.
If you're unemployed, Louisiana is hiring. Register today for Louisiana Workforce Commission's Workforce Week. It's a week-long series of virtual job fairs. Chat live with employers from across the state. You can do it from your computer, tablet, or smartphone. To sign up, go to laworks.net and click on the Workforce Week registration link. That's laworks.net. Let's get back to work, Louisiana.
This month's continuing coverage of Maritime Month and its importance to the Gulf South is brought to you by the Lambert Firm, maritime workers and helping them fight for full compensation for more than 40 years. For more information, visit thelambertfirm.com.
Rejuvenate your weekends with Rejuvame. RejuvameMedical.com.
Where do you go when you want to buy a Rolex?
CausewayCoinco.com.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. Whether you want to learn Spanish for future travel plans, French to connect with extended family, or maybe German to land a new job, Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you'll actually use. All you need is 15 minutes a day, and you'll be on your way to confidently speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel is designed by real language experts using a modern, conversation-based technique that makes learning fun, engaging, and best of all, memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then sentences gradually get more complex. Soon you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. And with 14 languages to choose from and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll be sure to learn what matters most to you. Babbel, language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Here we go.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer is changing the way you buy home insurance. Now you can go online, get a custom quote, and save both time and money. Learn more at progressive.com.
Now, more All Things Legal, underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given and opinions shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert, all things legal. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Justin. Justin, thanks for waiting. Justin, you know all things legal. Justin, my man.
Hey, Doug and Albert. Good morning.
Hey, Justin, how are you?
That Justin is the honorary beneficiary of the unfunded Nicaud Sunseri Trust, which means since it's unfunded,
that's so sweet to say that.
Since it's unfunded, it means it has no monetary benefit. It's just an honorary position. So,
hey, Albert and Doug, I thought this was a law program. Y'all been talking sports as y'all got on the air. I mean,
sports, you see, we're sports and law, but you see the name, image, and likeness is law as far as, licensing
that's true.
Of college players.
By the way, Doug and Albert, my dad, Jack Marcel, says hello. He's in heaven now.
He's from heaven.
But he's telling me to keep an eye on you, too.
All right.
So wait, so WWL on Sunday morning broadcasts to heaven?
Well, actually,
that's a pretty strong signal.
It does. Actually, it does. Your dad went to Notre Dame, right?
He went to Notre Dame. He went to Notre Dame for undergraduate, graduate, and law school. He loved it. He loved Notre Dame. God.
He's in heaven.
He loved that school.
He's in heaven, long as he didn't, long as he didn't eat meat during Lent and all that kind of thing. He's up there, right?
Oh, he was a Catholic, definitely. He did. Anyway, Albert.
Yes.
I have a tree story for you.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
He's a tree expert. I'm going to go to the bathroom. Y'all come back and talk about the trees.
Well, let me recap. My neighbor across the street, her neighbor next door, who I knew, they were like 80 years old, and they moved out. They're in hospice now. But the home is owned by the owner. Well, they have about 6 trees. And I told you during the hurricane last year, Hurricane Zeta, that after she cut some branches down, the branch she missed came down and took out our internet and everything. That was a whole. Well, you gave me information for her to contact them to tell the people that own the house, oh, this is what's going on. Well, instead of going to court, she told them what happened. The family that owns next door paid for the tree branches. Well, yesterday, there was like 5 branches cut down. I talked to my neighbor Caroline, who's across the street. I said, "Are you paying for this?" She says, "No, they're paying for it."
There you go.
He gave me information. I said, "How? Yeah, well, she contacted the people that own the property, because it's not her trees, it's their trees.
Right.
And they paid for it. And that was so sweet. And I said, you don't have to go to court. Just go talk to them. And I
just listen to All Things Legal.
That was incredible.
I know this. Albert's on chapter 8 on his tree and tree. It's oak tree disputes in Old Meadow.
Trees on trees. I'm waiting for that book.
Chapter 8. Oak tree disputes. So that's just specific, disputes in Old Meadow.
It's already a New York Times bestseller. Pre-sale.
I think it would be $1 million bestseller. But my dad taught me, before you go to court, that's the last resort. Just go talk to them and get an agreement. And she did that, and she didn't pay for anything. They paid for it because of their trees. So how's that for a tree story, Albert?
That's not bad. That's not bad. Well, and I think if you explain to people what their rights are and what the law is, they understand that you have an obligation to maintain the trees on your property that might damage someone else's property or be a threat. And so
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, my dad was a great lawyer. He always taught me about the law. And I'm going to tell you what, my dad told me I should have a law degree from Notre Dame already.
You know what? Actually, Tommy Tucker knows more law than a lot of lawyers. And, from Monday morning.
Come on, Tommy Tucker?
Just ask him.
He's a lawyer? No
Just
way.
ask him. No, he's not a lawyer, but he thinks he is.
Just ask him.
Justin,
beautiful lake.
I wanted to tell you this.
Yes, sir.
I almost became a cowboy because of your dad. But
really?
But for the fact that I know nothing about being a cowboy. only because when he used to walk in front of my office when I was a law clerk, he had that cowboy hat, and he looked so cool.
He did.
And I was like, man, that's almost worth looking that cool. Is almost worth becoming a cowboy, even though.
And you think with the cowboy hat, he would have gone to the University of Texas.
He did.
But no, Notre Dame. I didn't know they were big in cowboy hats back there in South Bend.
Well, let me tell you. What let me tell you about my dad. My dad loved being a cowboy since he was like 7 years old, and he had a picture that he showed me of him dressed as a cowboy. He was like 7 or 8 years old, and I said, "Dad, you are a warrior, man. Go for it, man." He loved being a cowboy, and let me tell you, he backed it up. He did.
There you go.
He was like, when he used to walk from his office to federal court, so all the people just parted, and he had two, three people carrying his bags, and
yeah, they were like, "Look at this crazy man with the cowboy hat."
I knew he was.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm proud of my dad. I'm proud of him, and look, he's watching out for you two. So y'all better keep your your law and order, because let me tell you, my dad. If you go against the law, he's going to go out and stomp on you.
Hey! I got one question for you for your dad. Ask him next time you talk to him, how many lawyers are in heaven? If there's any.
Zero.
Huh? Can you just check that with him?
Yeah, you shouldn't be good.
So anyway, but maybe it goes to God's mercy and lets the lawyers in. So all right, let's go.
Hey, Doug, tell Michelle I said hello.
I will. She's in the other room.
And Albert, you and your family, I love you guys, and thanks for talking to me. It's been so much fun to listen to your show.
All right,
thank you much.
The honorary beneficiary of the unfunded Nicaud and Sunseri Trust, which means no money, just a honorary achievement.
Trustee.
Let's go. Trustee.
A beneficiary.
Beneficiary.
Yeah.
Because he could be the trustee because he's not administering anything but the honor. All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Sometimes a single click on the internet can change your life forever. I'm Elle Fanning, and welcome to One Click, a documentary podcast series that investigates a lethal diet drug that has managed to reappear time and again with a trail of death behind it. Listen and follow One Click, a presentation of C13 Originals, a Cadence 13 studio, in association with Vespucci and Llewellyn Pictures. Available now on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. At Oakland Heart, we believe there's no better expression of your love than the gift of pearls, emeralds, sapphires, rubies, or of course, those famous Oakland Heart diamonds that stand out from all the rest. Choose from a vast selection of rings, bracelets, earrings, and necklaces like no other, in every price range. What could compare to an exclusive design from our award-winning Oakland Heart Master Craftsman? We search the world for design inspiration and those stand-out, gorgeous gemstones. We then buy them direct at the lowest possible price. Gemstones from Thailand, Brazil, India, Australia, all around the world. Now part of the Oakland Heart Collection, with value beyond compare. Our commitment for creating breathtaking jewelry right here in our Metairie Road store is not only rare, it's how we can offer finer jewelry at the best prices possible. Shop smart. Simply compare. Your satisfaction means everything to us at Oakland Heart Jewelers on Metairie Road. Beautiful in more ways than one.
New Orleans is ready to get back to work, and DKI Office Solutions is ready to help you create comfortable, functional, and safe office spaces. With our large inventory and our design team, we can work with you to configure the best possible way to set up your office. Visit us at DKIOfficeSolutions.com to find out how we can help you get back to work.
This is Newell for the Ray Brand Auto Group, and now is the best time to sell them your car. You heard me right. The Ray Brand Auto Group has allocated $3.5 million to acquire your vehicle. These deals won't last forever, so hurry up and go to any Ray Brand dealership website and get your KBB instant cash value today.
Go to RayBrandAuto.com.
Hey, y'all, spring is here, and you're ready to get out and celebrate. Here's what's happening around the state. June 3rd through 5th, Bugs and Bands in Kickapoo. June 4th through 6th, Paul Mange in Gaines, and Sicilian Heritage Festival in Independence. June 5th, the Peach Festival in Ruston, and Cajun Country Jam in Gonzales. So make your plans to laissez les bon temps rouler. This is Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. Plan your road trip at LouisianaIsATrip.com.
It's Small Business Month, and Dell Technologies and Windows are celebrating your unstoppable drive. Save up to 45% on powerful PCs with Windows 10 Pro to work from anywhere, plus top monitors and docks for the ultimate business setup, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right business tech, server, storage, and cloud solutions at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL for Small Business Month savings.
There's a lot of streaming services out there, each filled with reality TV, comedy, drama, and of course,
Okay, you're going to have just a little over 4 minutes, and we'll be going live shortly.
documentary films, and that's Curiosity Stream. History, science, nature, we've got it. Space, dinosaurs, big cats, we got that too. And pretty much anything else you want to explore. Go ahead, add some smart TV to your smart TV with Curiosity Stream. Go to curiositystream.com to sign up and start streaming today.
All things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on WWL and Odyssey Station. Connect now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Started jumping subjects, but got about 4 minutes left. I wanted to ask Albert this, since he's the construction guru. Lumber, supplies have have gone up exponentially in the last couple of months.
No question.
And if you're in the middle of a construction contract and these prices almost double and triple, how is that normally dealt with if you're the buyer or you're the contractor?
Well, I have my folks, the contractors, subcontractors, whatever, put provision in their contract regarding acts of God, force majeure, right? The an unexpected increase, where it's a significant increase in pricing of materials, and that they would have the right to amend the contract in the event that happens. And of course you give some protection and rights to the homeowner by saying, well, then, you need to be able to show me, from a schedule of values, what you intended to pay and what the new schedule of values is going to look like. So I have an idea, and you're not going to mark it up any, but it's just, I can't do the contract. The other option, if you don't have a provision like that in your contract, is to walk away from it and say, look, I'm going to head and walk away from the contract. And it is a breach, but if it's a justifiable breach, is it a breach for cause or not for cause? And you're going to have to then, if you don't have that provision in your contract, you're going to have to rely on the mercy of the court to say, look, I can't build this house. I'll lose money building the house, and I can't do it. So I would rather take my chances walking away from the job, and
What about if you're in the middle?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You just walk away.
Okay. Well,
I can't do it. And it happened. I'm representing a client across the lake right now, and he built a house, and it was right around the same time that the whole Dim Springs thing happened with the flooding a few years ago. And the contractor, I think, had underpriced the job anyway. He came in substantially cheaper than the other two contractors that bid. And then all of a sudden this flooding event happened in the Baton Rouge, area. And so there was a spike in the cost of materials. And so what he ended up doing, instead of coming and trying to negotiate and sit down with the owner and say, look, this is what's going on. I can't help it. I'm not going to be able to complete your job in time, or I'm just going to have to wait. I'm going to wait and do a little bit here, a little bit there until these prices level off. And so had he done that, they might have been able to work something out. But instead, he was buying cheaper materials without telling the owner. And so instead of number one, fir, 2x4s or framing material, he was buying number 2 pine, and he was buying non-treated lumber, and he was buying different roofing products than the plans and specs called for, just so he could start cutting corners to try to bring his number in within his flat-free contract amount.
All right. Well, that's happening right now with the
Yes, it is.
increase of prices of lumber and inflation and everything else that's happening. That these are sort of shaking up some of these new construction contracts. Okay, that's hour number 1 in the can. We'll be back for hour number 2 in about 10 minutes. Stay tuned. For Nash News, local news, we'll be back for hour number 2 and all things legal. See you in about 10 minutes.
News, talk, and sports that hit home. 870 AM WWL New Orleans, 105.3 WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Lisa Mateo. Pieces of crushed metal are all that remain after a cable car heading up the mountains of northern Italy crashes to the ground.
A cable car carrying 11 people plunged as it took those on board from the well-known town of Stresa on Lake Maggiore to the top of the Motarone mountain in the Alps. 9 have been confirmed dead and 2 young children have been taken by helicopter to a Turin pediatric hospital and are in serious condition. According to initial news reports, the accident occurred around 1,000 feet from the summit and may have been caused by a broken cable at the top of the system. Sabina Castelfranco, CBS News, Rome.
At least 1 person is dead and a number of others injured after a shooting at a house party in New Jersey. KYW TV's Howard Monroe is in Bridgeton.
There was a very large house party. We're talking between 100 and 200 people, according to the state police. Now, that shooting happened at about midnight. Now, after that shooting, we are told that the crowd is scattered. It's scattered around, and it's believed that multiple people were shot.
John Bolton says his nephew was at that party.
This was a party celebrating life. There was people at that party last night from the ages of 15 to 80 years old. It was a celebration of community and family. We had a few bad apples to come out and try to disrupt peace.
Tragedy in Lakeland, Florida, after a 3-year-old boy accidentally shoots his 2-year-old sister. Police say the child found the gun hidden between sofa cushions. The girl is in critical condition. The ceasefire between the Israelis and Palestinians continues for another day following 11 days of conflict. CBS's Robert Berger has the latest from Jerusalem.
About 50 Israelis visited the Mosque of Al-Aqsa compound here in Jerusalem, the site Jews call the Temple Mount. The Gaza conflict was sparked by an eruption of violence at the disputed site, but police said they are restoring the status quo, which allows Jewish visitors. Palestinians described the visit as a provocation. Robert Berger, CBS News, Jerusalem.
A rally will be held in Minneapolis today ahead of the 1-year anniversary of the death of George Floyd. The march is part of a series of events planned. Floyd's sister Bridget, attorney Benjamin Crump, and the Reverend Al Sharpton are all expected to attend. Well, many thought they wouldn't make it, but the New York Knicks are in the NBA playoffs tonight, taking on the Atlanta Hawks. A crowd of about 15,000 fans are expected at the Garden. It's the biggest indoor gathering the state has seen since the start of the pandemic. This is CBS News.
Get CBS News Radio on the Odyssey app. All the audio that matters to you is on Odyssey. News, music, sports, and podcasts. Download the Odyssey app today.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage.
The pandemic has caused families to spend more time in close quarters than ever before. But if you're noticing an emotional distance between you and your child because of their drug or alcohol use, you may not know where to turn. Partnership to End Addiction can help with free guidance, support, and resources. We work directly with families and communities across the country to help save lives, and we can help you too. To end addiction, start with connection. Reach out to us at drugfree.org.
WWL First News. I'm Tom Perumian on your official weather station, WWL, AM, FM, and .com.
We continue to dry out. High temperatures for your Sunday get up to around 86 with a mix of sun and clouds. Overall, going to be a pretty nice day with a little bit of an easterly to southeast breeze, and a little bit weaker winds than what we've seen over the past couple of days.
That's your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Peyton Malone. Well, new body camera video of Ronald Green's arrest shows Louisiana state troopers ordering the shackled and beaten black man to keep lying face down, a tactic that may have hindered his breathing, and an autopsy cited restraint and inflicted head injury among factors in his death. Associated Press obtained more investigative details after it published previously unreleased footage that showed troopers converging on his car after a high-speed chase, repeatedly jolting him with stun guns, putting him in a chokehold, beating him, and dragging him by his ankle shackles. A strange murder-suicide took place in West Wego on Saturday. WWL TV's Devin Bartolotta brings us the story.
West Wego police are investigating a homicide that happened around 1 today. They say the victim, 63-year-old Bob Comerdell, was getting out of his car in the 100 block of Farman Street when he was shot by another man. A witness who was also in the car told police that the 36-year-old suspect then shot himself. The name of that suspect has not been released, but officials say he also died. Police are still investigating and have not released any more information.
Well, now that it appears we're on the backside of the pandemic, Habitat for Humanity is getting back into the habit of building new homes for those in need. We get the story from WWL TV's Paul Dudley.
Habitat for Humanity is back to building with volunteers after pausing during the pandemic. Organizers say it's great to get back to work, helping provide housing for those in need across the area. Also, organizers say volunteers were really eager to get back out to the job site. If you'd like to learn more about how you can help, you can visit habitat-nola.org.
In WWL Sports,
it was believed that LSU would need 2 wins against Texas A&M this weekend to ensure their spot in the NCAA regionals. Well, after dropping Game 1 to the Aggies on Thursday and rallying for a win in a 13-inning thriller on Friday, Tigers slammed the door in the rubber match yesterday.
Solo home run here in the top of the third. This one off the bat of Arnold, going deep to left center field, and Zach Arnold off the top of the scoreboard on the clock for a 2-run blast. And the Tigers opening it up here. It's 5-0 LSU.
LSU put a button on their final regular season series of the year with an 8-2 win on the road against Texas A&M. That gives the Tigers the all-important 13th win in conference play. And they've still got time to further improve their standing. They head now into the SEC tournament, looking to build more momentum. They'll take the field Tuesday in Hoover, Alabama as the number 9 seed. Battle number 8 Georgia at 4:30 right here on WWL. I'm Mark Menard, WWL Sports.
The full weather forecast from your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Peyton Malone.
We're starting off this week with some dry, warm weather, and that's going to be the story throughout much of the work week. High temperature Sunday, 86. We'll stay dry on Monday with high around 87. Tuesday, a high of 88 with still mostly sunny skies. By Wednesday, we'll start to creep closer and closer to 90, but it does still look dry. By Thursday, we could actually hit 90. Now, it will be a little humid at times, especially by the middle of the week, but overall, staying dry through at least Friday. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Peyton Malone.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
From WWL, the news, talk, sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakwinard Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, All Things Legal. Hour number 2, we're on till 10 o'clock. Give us a call, 260-1870. Albert, thought I had an interesting civics story that happened this week. They had 5 counties from eastern Oregon who had a vote to secede from Oregon to Idaho. And they're trying to lay the groundwork for a succession from one state to the other. Now, that's just the first step. You'd have to have both the Oregon legislature vote for it, also the Idaho legislature to vote for it, and then Congress would have to sign off on that. But that's interesting, and I would like to know from my old Del Sal 10th grade civics teacher as to when was the last time that they had portions of a state want to secede from one state to the other. But it's pretty interesting. And the west coast of Oregon is a little different than the east coast, or the west coast of Oregon has a different demographics than the eastern portion of Oregon. So the West thinks, good riddance. We don't care for you anyway. We don't agree with your politics. So good riddance.
Right.
And so the West says, the Western part.
What's Idaho say about all this?
Oh, they want they said, that would be great. They would like, I think it's probably politically more like-minded. And the left coasters are saying good riddance. They want to cancel them. They say, if you want to be canceled, we'll cancel you and send you to Idaho. But I'd like to know, when was the last time that they had serious discussions regarding succession? Now, they had a form of succession brought up by Billy Nungesser as far as having the French Quarter be succeeding from the parish of Orleans. So that's for state control, which would be good.
Right.
Because, it's interesting. We represent a lot of hospitality people, business owners in the French Quarter, and it's a common refrain right now. And also people from out of town who, talk about New Orleans, who want to come to New Orleans. And, this is the perfect opportunity for New Orleans to take advantage of the fact that you can't really travel abroad, or there's less travel abroad, but people want to travel. And so if you're from another part of the United States and you want to go to Europe and you can't go to Europe, the next best place to go is New Orleans, because New Orleans looks like Europe, especially in the French Quarter.
Right.
And, a lot of the feedback we're receiving from all of them is we really don't want to go to the French Quarter. It's so darn dangerous. And it doesn't seem like there's anything being done to at least make the French Quarter safe. I think, even at a time when crime was going up and down in New Orleans, at least the French Quarter was heavily protected in order to encourage tourism, people to come back or come visit. And now that's out the window. And it's totally being neglected. And so, I wonder, with all the succession talk.
Well, one of the things I wanted to bring up, I wanted to bring up too, and it's you talking about the hospitality industry in particular. I was at a restaurant the other night, and this past weekend, they're down about 40 spots in terms of employees. They can't fill the spots.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the reason is because Biden has extended his unemployment benefits, and they're making more money. People that that choose to accept it are making more money to stay home than they would going to work, because the government's given this free money. So what's happened is 22 states, Republican states, have refused to accept the money for the extended unemployment benefits, and because they have more job openings now than they've had in over a year and a half, and they can't fill those positions. So there's no reason in the world why they should continue to do this, other than just some sort of political thing that Biden seems to be wanting to play. The states are Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Alaska, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, West Virginia, and Wyoming. And they said that Kansas and Florida are probably going to sign up as well. So that'll be 24 states. Of course, Louisiana is not among that number. And so Louisiana is going to still flounder and try to, in their small businesses are going to be hurt because now all of a sudden, we have no real mask mandate. It's business to business as to who decides on a case by case basis what that business wants to do. And so people are going to restaurants, they're going to bars, they're going to enjoy themselves, and we don't have the staff to support it.
I have Tom on the line who wants to talk about
People are being paid to stay home, and it's craziness. It's craziness that we're going to spend another $1 trillion to keep paying people to stay home when there are just too many jobs available.
I think on the state level, starting with the governor and the mayor, I think what's disappointing is lack of vision as to what's the economic engine of Louisiana. It's not higher taxes. What industry are you going to foster and develop in Louisiana so that they can compete with Texas, Alabama, compete with Mississippi? My gosh, I mean, we never, that's a statement itself, in Florida. And so every southern state is increasing in population, but Louisiana, because it's just
right.
South.
And it honestly starts with a Democratic governor. I mean, I hate to say that, but a lot of times they get their orders from the feds.
For that, who didn't help at all either. So it's just a lack.
Oh no, I understand, but in terms of today's issues with this, with this unemployment thing, he can refuse to accept it and say, no, this state needs to get back to work, and he's not doing so, and I'm calling him out on it.
Well,
he
had to call out the last one before that too, because he didn't do a darn thing as far as driving the economy.
Oh, I did, but look, Jindal started off right, and then he spiraled in the end, and he had national political aspirations and kind of left the state behind, and very disappointed. And I called him out for that as well.
It's actually about a vision for Louisiana which transcends political party. What is your economic vision for Louisiana, which we have a lot to work with, which none of it's being used. The cultural economy, everything's being, that's been done in the last years to sabotage it, not enhance it. In the last probably 20 years, it's been nothing but nothing to enhance the sabotage. And we have a lot to work with in Louisiana. We have a lot of
tons of resources,
and we just squander it. We continue to squander it. And the only thing that's just interesting is that we seem to be content with that. But it is what it is. All right, let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Tom. He's got a question. Hey, Tom, you on All Things Legal? What you got, Tom?
Hello?
Hey, Tom, you on All Things Legal? What you got for us, brother?
Two questions, two statements. One, you got a mayor that's from California, and she's down here. She doesn't know exactly how to run a city. Two, you need to bring Sidney Torres back in, clean up the French Quarter like you did in the past, and start keeping cops 24 hours a day in a 100 block of bourbon. You clean up the murders. It seems like the 100 block of bourbon is a murder almost every night.
You're exactly right. I agree with Sidney Torres. Actually, I wish he'd run for mayor, but he did a phenomenal job.
He tried. He thought about doing it a long time ago, but he backed out at the last minute.
Yeah, well, nobody wants that job. Not very many people want that job. Torres did a fantastic job in keeping the French Quarter clean. It was a jewel, and he treated it like a jewel, and there was a lot of pride in it. And even in his marketing campaign, he demonstrated the pride in keeping the French Quarter clean. And there's
he's a businessman.
Yeah, but
so but you got to get rid of LaToya Cantrell because that's the problem you got right now. She's the leader of the city, and she can't do her job.
No argument there. No argument there. Yeah, so
I know. Every time I mention LaToya's name to a politician, nobody wants to make a comment.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you 100%. There's no argument there.
No.
But New Orleans is you could have thriving businesses. You could have and a rising tide raises all boats. And if you do have thriving business, you have thriving economic activity. People should, their wages go up too. Everybody's wages go up, and
Of course.
so it is very disappointing. And I mean, it's very acute. We're acutely aware of it because we're helping, with restaurants who are trying to renegotiate their leases to stay in their buildings. They're trying to figure out how to get more employees to work. They're dealing with all these type of issues where they're swimming upstream on any way to have any type of economic activity in New Orleans. And this is the perfect time. People aren't traveling abroad. They're reluctant to do that, but they want to travel. And we're doing nothing to encourage that. And we're doing nothing to facilitate that. Now, it just at least make the French Quarter safe. And so that people can say, okay, we can come here and we're safe here. Just don't go into other parts of the city.
Second, as of March of last year, people abandoned the quarter. Well, so the business started hurting. But did your property taxes go down? No. Property taxes went up. And in New Orleans, New Orleans is the only city in the entire state where you got to pay your taxes in advance. Every other parish, you pay at the end of the year.
Sure.
True or false?
That's true. That's true.
Yep.
Okay, so she collects the money starting December. By May, she puts penalties on you, and by the end of the year, she's broke. Come on, what's wrong with that picture?
Well, I've never heard a municipality, a state, or a country be taxed into prosperity. And also in connections, what's unique to New Orleans is you taxed and your government and your services, the level of your services are in inverse proportion to the amount that you're taxed. So that even makes it worse. And so and look, from a business perspective, we have businesses who want to relocate south. They don't want to get near New Orleans. They'll relocate to Tangipahoa, St. Tammany Parish, St. Charles Parish, St. John's, somewhere else. They don't want to touch New Orleans Parish.
Mandeville is the most hottest property right now because I just sold a piece of property in Mandeville back in November, and I got $5,000 over the asking price because it was so hot.
That's right.
Because everybody wants to be across the lake.
Well, you know what?
People want to go across the lake right after Katrina.
I live here. The trains run on time. Government services work. They're responsive and it's safe. That's what people want. So there you go. All right. Well, thanks for the call. We got to go to a break. Thanks, Tom. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your Weekend Lawyers, All Things Legal. We'll be right back here.
The Odyssey app brings you a universe of audio anywhere you happen to be.
At home or when you're out.
All the best music from Odyssey stations across the country.
News from top local and national news sources.
Sports.
To keep up with your favorite team, no matter where they are.
And podcasts you crave.
We have thousands.
All in your pocket.
Find it all on Odyssey.
AUDACY.
Go to the App Store or Google Play.
And download the Odyssey app now.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the crazy thing is, this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare...
Okay, we have two holding right now. We have Pierre calling from Metairie, and he has some information on the states changing the borders. We also have Jose, who also is in Metairie, and he has a problem with a home loan, mistaken identity. He needs some information on clearing up.
Home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Love is a two-way street. It's a partnership, collaboration. It takes two.
When it comes to jewelry, it takes two as well. At Oakland Heart Jewelers, it takes both beautiful diamonds and exquisite prices. In this age of mass production, our attention to detail is unsurpassed. From our bracelets to our diamond stud earrings, each and every diamond is perfectly matched by a member of the Oakland Heart family, personally. Come see our vast selection of rings, pendants, bracelets, and earrings. Each piece passes from our master jeweler's hands directly to your hands, saving you money. And along with the pieces we create in our store, we offer diamond jewelry from world-renowned designers like David Yurman, Penny Kriegel, Mikimoto Pearls, and Marco Bichigo. Breathtaking diamonds, stunning styles, always at the best possible prices. Oakland Heart Jewelers on Metairie Road. Beautiful in more ways than one.
Ashley, are you still unemployed?
Yep. I mean, my unemployment benefits don't expire until September.
Are you crazy? Everybody's going to be looking for work in September. You should be doing this right now.
If you're unemployed, Louisiana is hiring. Register today for Louisiana Workforce Commission's Workforce Week. It's a week-long series of virtual job fairs. Chat live with employers from across the state. You can do it from your computer, tablet, or smartphone. To sign up, visit laworks.net and click on the Workforce Week registration link. That's laworks.net. Let's get back to work, Louisiana.
Are you a business owner doing your own bookkeeping? Why? It makes no sense, literally. Focus on what you do well, like growing your business, and let Accounting Services Unlimited handle your bookkeeping. Hi, this is Thomas Fontes. Accounting Services Unlimited is insanely affordable and will come to you. Call for a free quote. Accounting Services Unlimited, 504-717-6253. That's 717-6253. Or visit us at asu-llc.com.
BetMGM Book Bar and Grill is the ultimate sports lovers experience in the South's premier destination. We've got everything you need to keep you in the game, making those W's that much more exciting and the upsets just a little more tolerable. Serving award-winning food, a large selection of drafts, plus happy hour and midweek specials. We'll treat you like royalty in the king of sports books. BetMGM Book Bar and Grill. Only at Play Revenge. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-777-9696.
All things legal on WWL. Consult with Nicaud and Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers talk and text line, 504-260-1870. And don't forget to rewind on the Odyssey app.
Hey, we're back. Dr. Terry, Albert Nico, you the noise, all things legal. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Pierre. Hey, Pierre, you're on all things legal. Dr. Terry and Albert Nico.
Good morning, gentlemen. I was going to make a few comments about the questions you raised with the Oregon counties wanting to leave the state of Oregon. Of course, it has happened with West Virginia. At the time of the Civil War, West Virginians or Western Virginians wanted nothing to do with secession, so formed the state of West Virginia.
There you go.
But there are other states, for example, Maine, I believe, used to be part of Massachusetts, and this is going back to late 1700s, early 1800s. Let's see, Vermont used to be a part of New Hampshire. So there've been some of these changes very early on, but this represents the first in over 150 years that this possibility might arise. And it's the rules on it are in Article 4 of the U.S. Constitution, and it's pretty simple. Both state legislatures have to vote in favor of it, and then Congress has to approve it. And I think some people might say, well, why would Oregon agree to give up 5 of its counties? I would only speculate that because most of Oregon is liberal and these 5 counties are conservative, liberals in the state of Oregon might be welcome or might be willing to strengthen their position and to slough off the conservative part. And Idaho, which is very conservative, just for the opposite reason, would be happy to take it on.
And yeah, that, and those are rural counties, so a lot of the more urban areas think a disproportionate amount of their tax revenue goes to these rural areas. So there's more money for us is the other aspect of it. So yeah, it's interesting. In fact, you were saying, the other aspect is there's several California counties that are watching this to see if they're interested in also going to Idaho in the northern area. It's not San Francisco, but the northern area.
California is really. I mean, this would be the bellwether, the case, but in California, that could really lead to something tremendous because the conservative counties are primarily the agricultural, very strong, rich agricultural areas of California. And a split there between liberal and conservative would be profound.
Yeah. So,
and it would be devastating to the tax base because if the wealthy counties left and became, part of a different state, then the not so wealthy counties will then, will lose that tax base and redistribution of those tax funds.
It's just interesting. We're 150 years later, as you say, we're in a part of our history where that conversation is coming up now.
Let me suggest this to you.
Yes.
If you analogize this to a divorce, if one person in the marriage wants to go and the other person has the power to force them to stay, what kind of a relationship is that? So if you do have just 5 little Oregon counties, and I'm sure their population is negligible,
right?
If 5 Oregon counties want to go and apparently have become united in their approach, what's the future of Oregon as far as keeping those 5 counties in line?
Right.
It's going to be a mess.
Right.
A mess.
Well, Pierre, you're very well versed on this. Are you a history teacher?
Well, I'm a history student. I'm a student of history, a history major, and continuing to be a student.
What do you think about?
Enjoyed your show.
What do you
think?
Let me ask you a quick question, Pierre. One of the things I'm sort of concerned about is they really don't teach history now in school.
I agree.
And what do you?
I mean, there are tremendous pieces of history that the younger they are, the more people don't know history.
And if they understood, I think
it's not taught as well as it used to be.
I think if you had a understanding of history, you would have a greater appreciation of how we got here today. Of all aspects.
Well, I think also that if you don't understand history, you really don't have a good handle on the future, because there is that that comment by the historian Santayana that says those who don't learn from history are condemned to repeat it, and we've seen it time and time and time again. But history is a good indicator of the future, because human nature has us doing the same thing for the same reasons time and time again.
Well,
it's just as if the ills of communism are not taught in school, and if you look at the tyranny involved and you look at the communist leaders now, Putin and North Korea and all of these places where they have these tyrannical types of leaders that it's my way or the highway, and there's no real rights, and there are no, you just get along and go along, and there are no freedoms, there's no legislatures to vote, and there's no, it all starts at the top and with the party. And so, some people are advocating that for the United States, that we need to get away from capitalism and go to a communist state and, share the wealth and everything will be beautiful. But it's been tried, dozens and dozens of times, and it's failed miserably every time.
Look at the reverse. The market system is as old as humans. I mean, back 10,000 years ago, there were people trading horses and crops, and that's the basic fundamental free market system. Now, as people debate whether the free market system, which some people say, label as capitalism, the free market system is under attack. Well, it has been tried. Communism has been tried. Well, what's going to happen in the future? If you don't understand the history of these economic systems, how can you even begin to intelligently discuss the future?
Right, right. You know, a friend of mine, I saw him yesterday, and we were just kind of talking a little bit about what's going on. And he said his mom, who's now in her 90s and still alive, she told him when he was in college 40, 45 years ago, that she said, I may not see it in my lifetime, but she said, you are destined for very significant race wars and race breakdowns. And she said, it's all going to come at the hands of the communists. She said, they want to divide us from within. And so they're going to infiltrate and push through and fan the flames of racism. They're going to fan the flames of sexism, where the sexes will be, fighting against the other. The class systems will be, different classes will be fighting against each other. They want to break the United States down, and they want to do it from within. And here we are in 2021, and it looks like we're on that path.
Well, history also is a pendulum. It swings back and forth, and just when you think it's going to swing all the way to destruction, it starts swinging back the other way.
There you go, Pierre.
So have faith.
There you go, Pierre.
Bye,
Pierre.
gentlemen.
Pierre, I felt like I was back in Brian Altabella's class at De La Salle and 10th grade. Hung on every word. Thank you so much, Pierre. You've been a great addition for the last 10 minutes. Thanks. Okay, Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, you weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout. Jose still on?
Be normal. For years,
Okay, Jose is holding on with his question about home equity and identity.
Wrong. And now we can't wait to get back to normal. Well, in most ways. When your new normal requires up-to-the-minute traffic and weather reports, trust us to deliver exceptional information. Weather and traffic.
Because I need to get to and from work every day.
WWL.
Bobby Hebert here. I have a boat, and I love my boat. But my wife said I couldn't keep it at the house. And launching it always ended in an argument. Now my wife loves our boat since we began storing it at Seabrook Harbor Marine. Jeff and his brother David run Seabrook. Jeff, tell me about your stackable storage.
Well, Bobby, we could store 200 boats in our 38,000 square foot dry stack building. Just give Seabrook Harbor a call, and your boat will be in the water ready for you.
And you don't have to move your boat if the storm comes.
That's right, because we're inside the levee protection system. Seabrook Harbor survived Katrina, and all of our boats were perfect.
I'm really impressed with your yacht repair yard. Seabrook is probably the best on the entire Gulf Coast.
Well, thanks, Bobby. From outboard repairs to bottom jobs to complete refits. Essentially, if it's legal, ethical, and it floats, we'll do it.
Tell us about all the other things you have.
In addition to our dry stack and repair yard, we have 33 wet slips, a fuel dock, ice, live bait, showers, and fish cleaning stations.
Seabrook Harbor Marine on France Road on the Industrial Waterway, just a half a mile from the lake, or online at SeabrookHarborMarine.com.
You like a company that really stands behind its product? Well, listen to what Diamonds Direct does. Let's say you buy a diamond today for $6,000, but later on you want to trade up to a larger diamond or maybe a different shape. Diamonds Direct will give you $6,600 towards the new diamond. That's a guaranteed 10% appreciation. Let me say it again. You paid $6,000 originally, but Diamonds Direct pays you $6,600 for that same diamond when you upgrade. 10% more for the same diamond.
Okay, we have a second caller. Join us in this arena from Hammond, who has an insurance question.
Stud earrings as well. You get the extra 10%.
Irina, yeah.
$1,000 diamond or a $30,000 diamond. Doesn't matter. No strings attached either. You can get the 110% trade-up value regardless of the cost of the new diamond. And you can upgrade as many times as you like. Now that's peace of mind. And that's a company that believes in its product. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. On Severn Avenue, across from Lakeside Mall.
If you're building a new home or buying a new home from a builder, you need to be aware of Louisiana's New Home Warranty Act. It sets forth strict deadlines to make claims against the builder for defects in construction. If you don't provide the builder with proper notice, you can lose your right to make a claim. This is Albert Nicaud with the Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm in Metairie. Call me at 504-837-1304 as soon as you discover a defect. Better yet, call me before you sign your construction contract and let me make sure you're protected.
Hi, this is former Sheriff Newell Norman. Getting your vehicle back on the road after an accident can be a pain, but the Ray Brandt Collision Centers make it easy with 6 convenient locations and a lifetime repair warranty. Most new vehicles are equipped with technology like radar, sonar, and more, so use a manufacturer-certified collision center. Tell the insurance company what I would. I'm going to Ray Brandt Collision for my repair. Ray Brandt Collision Centers with 6 convenient locations and a lifetime repair warranty.
At Community Coffee, we've been making great tasting coffee for over 100 years. But what makes us different isn't just how long we've been around. It's how far we're willing to go in pursuit of the perfect cup. We select only the finest beans and use over 4 generations of family roasting experience to give you the richest, most delicious coffee around. Find Community Coffee at your local grocery store or visit communitycoffee.com to order some today.
It's Small Business Month, and Dell Technologies and Windows are celebrating your unstoppable drive. Save up to 45% on powerful PCs with Windows 10 Pro to work from anywhere, plus top monitors and docks for the ultimate business setup, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right business tech, server, storage, and cloud solutions at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL for Small Business Month savings.
There's a lot of streaming services out there, each filled with reality TV, comedy, drama, and of course, superheroes. But there's one dedicated entirely to nonfiction TV and documentary films, and that's Curiosity Stream. History, science, nature, we've got it. Space, dinosaurs, big cats, we got that too. And pretty much anything else you want to explore. Go ahead, add some smart TV to your smart TV with Curiosity Stream. Go to curiositystream.com to sign up and start streaming today.
I'm listening daily. Here's Dr. Joshua Claypo on managing stress.
Take time to recalibrate is the term I like to use. That may mean 2 or 3 minutes of just stepping back, but you don't have to do it for a day. You may need to do it, 6 times every hour so that you are staying engaged and you're not feeling like you're pulling yourself away and there's this desire to be pulled back, because then you create a whole new stressor for yourself.
For more details, go to imlistening.org.
All things legal on WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app. Connect with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Jose. Jose, you and all things legal. What you have for us, brother?
Hey, good morning. I am applying for a home equity loan through a bank, and everything looked good until they sent me a letter saying there are liens against my house, the whole list of them, which is all bogus. It's a case of mistaken identity. Number one, I don't think that's going to interfere with me getting the loan, because they said all you have to do is sign a not me affidavit. But what do I do to get that expunged from the records?
So it's something called an affidavit of distinction that you're going to sign. And basically it's an affidavit saying that, yes, it's mistaken identity, that someone with my same name that is, having these liens placed on them. What you need to go do is go lien for lien and find out who put the lien on the property, what type of lien it is, whether it's some sort of construction lien, whether it's a judgment of some sort. And unfortunately, you're just going to have to go fight the company, demand that they have it removed. And if they don't, then of course you bring an action against them to do so. And then, it'll be on their burden then to prove that the lien is valid and to prove that you are in fact the person that, signed that document or, whatever it was that supports the nature of their lien.
Okay. So how would I go about doing that?
Well, you go find out what the liens are, right? So you go or get an attorney, whatever, but you would go to the courthouse and pull the records from the clerk's office and see in the mortgage records and see what those particular liens are, whether it's some type of judgment, whether it's some type of of, like I said, construction lien, any other types of liens. There may be a IRS lien, right? And then contact those companies. Some attorney will have filed that usually. And so you'll be able to get that attorney's name and say, listen, you got the wrong person. This is me. Here are the last 4 digits of my social if you want to keep that private. The nature of your lien's incorrect. I never took out this loan. I never, this is someone else with the same name. Here's the affidavit of distinction that I have filed, into my own mortgage records to say that, no, this is not me. And then you might want to contact your credit reporting services and send them a letter saying, look, I've got these liens against me. Here's the affidavit of distinction. Just put something in the record to show that, hey, look, this is, they got the wrong person. They've got someone with the same name. And at least, as the credit people review your credit, they see that that you're taking steps to rectify the problem other than just leaving it alone.
Right. Well, the thing that's crazy to me is my credit score is tip top. Evidently, this didn't affect my credit score.
It might not have got to it.
Yeah, but some of these things go back 5 years, and this is the first I've heard of it. Wouldn't I have gotten some type of correspondence?
No, because you're the wrong person. You're not the right person that they're trying to assert the lien against. So that person might have gotten it, but they just went and recorded it at the wrong place. So it's just necessary for you to go pull them and see what entity filed them and who their attorney is to try to get them removed.
Do I need a lawyer to go do that?
It would likely be easier, but if go see what you can do. I mean, I think you can pull those records and search the records. What parish are you in?
I live in Jefferson.
Yeah.
A lawyer will have that works in Jefferson Parish will have FNet, which is the online records for the clerk of court, and would easily be able to pull and see what those liens are, make copies for you, so for a few $100 you can get at least know what the liens are and who the attorneys are, and if you want to take steps to try to have those corrected on your own, at that point, give it a stab, and if not, you might need to get back and circle back with the attorney to go ahead and file whatever needs to be filed.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay, man. Thank you very much.
Thanks for calling, Jose. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Irina. From Hammond. She's got a question regarding insurance claim. Hey, Irina, on All Things Legal, Sunseri, Albert Nicaud.
Thank you. I had a big tree branch fall across a double carport attached to my house, and so I called my insurance company, and they started a claim. The third party person came and FaceTimed with the adjuster. The adjuster called me. Now, I have replacement costs, and I'm not quite understanding what she's saying because I understood it differently from my agent. She's already, they've already told me that they will pay $9,676 to replace it. They have a $2,500 deductible, which is $7,176. They will pay in 2 payments. The first payment would be up front, $5,423. Then after I get it built or in that process, they will pay, and I thought she said this is the depreciated amount of $1,753, the remaining. I told her to hold off on the payment.
What that probably is called recoverable depreciation. So basically, if you have a replacement cost policy, the insurance company will pay you the replacement cost, but they're only going to pay you the depreciated cost until you get the work done. And so once you get the work done, then they'll pay you the difference because they don't want to now continue to insure something that's damaged, right? So they're going to pay you the recoverable depreciation. So you let's say, like you said, we're going to pay you $5,000. That's the depreciated value of this carport. But then once you get the work done, or if you hire a contractor and the work is being done, you might be able to get them to make a couple of more payments so you don't have to come out of pocket for it. But that's basically how that works. So you will get your full value minus your deductible, but they're going to pay it in stages.
Okay, I'm told that that's not going to rebuild the double carport, but she says it will for your area, and so I haven't gotten a contractor. But I told her to wait on the payment. If I take that first payment, does that mean that I agree with their figures?
No, you can take it. You can take the payment, but I would get a contractor, because what they're doing is, I think there's something called the Xactimate, and it's an estimating software, and a lot of the insurance companies use it, and they have different ones. Some use their own proprietary thing, and I don't think that the Xactimate software has necessarily caught up with the exorbitant pricing of materials, and so and the fact that there are less and less contractors available. Again, going back to what we talked about earlier with respect to people not wanting to work because they're getting paid to stay at home. And so people can't find workers to come help repair your carport. So the price is going up. If you want me to do the work, I'm going to have to charge more money for it because I've got 50 jobs to choose from. So with that said, I would get a contractor over there as quickly as I could, have them go through and give you a firm estimate, and then submit that estimate to the insurance company and say, this is the estimate that I got. This is what it's going to cost me. You need to pay me this amount. And so what we have is a firm estimate versus a theoretical estimate that may in fact not be caught up with the escalating prices of materials and labor. But that's where you need to start.
Irina, why don't you give us a call? Call Albert, 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304. He can probably give you more explanations to what you need to do to get full payment, or call us. We got to go to a break. Thanks for the call, Irina. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
Rick Edelman, award-winning radio host and founder of Edelman Financial Engines, takes questions on his radio show. Let's hear his advice on annuities.
Hey, Rick, I'm looking for a good investment.
That sounds like he's sick.
Yeah, he's got a little.
Well, fixed annuities aren't really investments. They're
Pick him up and made himself at home affairs.
but it might not be enough to offset taxes.
Okay, we have
I think we're actually going to
Lettery
take.
has a comment on people who want working because of the money.
Okay, withdrawals are subject to a fee. How much policy? Financial advisor to see if an annuity is right for you, not someone who.
We have four.
You want a fiduciary who puts your best interest
For 4 minutes.
We have six. Surpasses have four.
Talk to one of our experienced financial planners and call 888-PLAN-BOOK. Or visit rickedelman.com.
What email did you get?
Hi, it's Dan from Toyota. Summer's finally here, and with a great deal on new Camry, Raptor, Highlander, Tacoma, and more, you can celebrate all of your favorite summer holidays, like Memorial Day.
No.
I didn't know if you were going through and just figure out what you needed to do.
Independence Day.
Anyway, he sent me for me to forward it to David.
You're doing great, Jan.
Thanks, Dad. Love you. International Pizza Party Day. Pepperoni, please.
Oh, shit. Wait, that we owe you, mean?
I have relatives in Boston.
Why is it?
Pepperoni, please. But hold the pepperoni. Thanks.
Toyota, let's go places. Get $1,500 customer cash, or qualified lessees can lease a 2021 Corolla LE for $199 a month for 36 months with $29.99 with such. Visit buyatoyota.com for details. Offers available in select states and N6/121.
Your life Your health, your cash. These things are none of our business. Your deodorant brand, your favorite cheese, and whatever you were searching for from Sunseri. That's really none of our business. Because your life is private, and unlike other tech companies, we think your internet can beat them. Oh, what kind of dog is that? Oh, that's none of our business either. Protect your privacy online for free. Like them. DuckDuckGo. Fast, simplified.
We want your stuff. DependableStorage.com.
Where do you go when you want to sell gold and silver bullion?
The following is a true story.
I had a lady that was in her mid-70s, and I told her time and that was the lowest I'd ever felt in my life. I knew then that I had to do something to simply not to go to hell for selling time.
Chuck McDowell founded Wesley Financial Group to help folks cancel their timeshares.
I called her and everybody that I'd sold time to, and I said, this is what I said to you that was a lie, and this is what you need to do to cancel your timeshare. From that point, people started referring to me to help them cancel a timeshare, and that's how it all started. I fought the world's largest timeshare.
You a little under the weather?
If I had lost that lawsuit, there would be no one helping people that have been lied to when they bought timeshare. If we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or we'll give your money back. That's what makes us different.
Call Wesley Financial Group now for a free information kit. 800-921-5252. That's 800-921-5252. 800-921-5252. Progressive's Home Quote Explorer is changing the way you buy home insurance. Now you can go online, get a custom quote, and save both time and money. Learn more at Progressive.com.
Now, more All Things Legal, underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given and opinions shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
Hey, we're back for our last segment. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. All Things Legal. Call us out, law firm. You can't get in at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304, North Shore 985-624-9697, in Mandeville, where the trains do run on time, St. Tammany Parish. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Dan. Hey, Dan, you're in All Things Legal.
How you guys doing?
Good, Dan, my man. What's happening?
Yeah. Listen, I keep hearing you guys, not the news people, talking about the people that aren't going back to work because they're getting free money from the government. You don't realize that they're not only getting free money, they're coming to work for me on the side, and I pay them in cash, so they get two salaries.
Well, we're going to change your name, Dan, to John, so nobody will know you're doing that.
Well, I mean, am I doing something wrong?
No, I'm just kidding with you.
The guy comes to me and says, "Yeah, I'll help you clean your yard. So what do you want? You give me $10 an hour, cash." I said, "Okay." So he helps me pick up the green, the trash in the yard and so forth. And I'm happy. He's happy.
You bring up a very good, Well, you bring up a very good point because
they get two checks for not working.
Well, they're working for one and not the other. You bring up a very good point. Anytime you put in a law or a program, there's always unintended that aren't seen on the surface but occur in the underbelly. And that's one of the things that you're talking about is a lot. And I think that was one of the issues that Albert deals with. A lot of unlicensed contractors pay cash to undocumented workers, where legitimate contractors who have license, who pay for insurances, pay for all the expenses to be licensed.
Workers' comp, all those things, sure.
They're outbid by the contractors that don't have these insurances and workers' comp and pay by cash. So
there's a commercial too. There's a commercial that just ran. But there's a commercial that just ran that kind of proves our point, where it's with the job fair that's being offered right now. The Louisiana Work Commission, they're trying to get people back to work that way, saying, yeah, there's a job fair. Come on, there are all these jobs available for you. And until you quit paying people to sit home, there are not going to be a ton of people there. There are just more jobs than there are people to fill them. And, it's because there's no incentive to go to work. And it's craziness.
Yeah, I took this guy over, and we met a fellow that manages properties. I won't say how many, because it might that identify him. And I told him, I said, look, I got this guy working for me. He's a good worker, you think you can get him a job with you all? He said, sure. I said, but look, I'll pay him cash. He said, oh, we have a system that we can pay him in check and all, but we don't take out taxes and all this stuff. I said, look, I'm going to get him over here and talk to you. He says, does he have transportation? I said, no, I'll go get him and all. Oh, he said, well, I can't hire him if you don't have transportation. But they had some kind of system working out the way, it's like me paying cash.
Wow. I talked to my sister-in-law. They live in Texas, and she said that they are paying drivers to drive tankers. They're paying them $14,000 a week. Now, granted, you've got to have your own rig, you've got to have your own whatever, but they're paying $14,000 a week to drive because they can't get enough people to come into work to drive the fuel back and forth to wherever they need to deliver it. It's silliness, and it's got to stop. And why they still want to have another $2 trillion stimulus? Just let people go back to work, and the economy will stimulate itself.
And we need our tourism. We need our tourism to come back too, and that's not going to have it happen. All right, thanks for the call, Dan. Thanks, Albert. We'll see you next week on All Things Legal. Be good and be blessed. See you next week.